Hey everyone, Marcos Villegas here in Los Angeles with Tom Loeffler, the Managing Director of K2 Promotions. On February 24th, we're going to see Superfly Part 2. Sor Rungvisai taking on Gallo Estrada. The first Superfly provided a lot of damn moments, like oh wow moments, especially in the main event. You got Gallo now moving towards a title fight with Sor Rungvisai. You're the lead promoter. How do you see that fight playing out in this main event?
I tell you, that devastating knockout that Rungvisai had over Chocolatito in the first Superfly show, that was tremendous. He's proven to be a great puncher. And the boxing clinic that Estrada put on in his fight against Cuadras was tremendous. So these two styles, I think it's going to be non-stop action. These lighter weight divisions, they know they have to put on a great show if they want HBO to come back and show the next fight. So there's a lot of incentive for these guys to put on a great show. And then we have Cuadras fighting Arroyo. It's a classic Mexico versus Puerto Rico battle. They also know if they have a great fight with a clear winner coming out of it, then they're in a position to challenge for a title again. So, you know, there's a lot of incentives here. Brian Meloria is going for his 5th world title. He's fighting for the vacant WBA world title against undefeated Golovkin from Ukraine. Had a little bit of experience with Ukrainian fighters, working with the two Klitschko brothers, the heavyweight champions. So we're just excited about this show. This is actually the first fight under the new venture, 360 Promotions. So this will be under 360 Promotions, but we're excited to working with every promoter, working with all the fighters, and as a result of it, this is a type of show that we're able to put together for the fans.
You mentioned new venture 360 Promotions. People are going to be like, well, wait a second, what happened to K2? What happened to Golovkin Promotions? What is 360 and how is that to correlate with the other two promotions?
360 is my company that gives me more flexibility to sign fighters, to do smaller shows. We're going to be doing a club show series here in Los Angeles. This is the first show of 360 Promotions, but Alexander Usyk, for example, is still with K2 Ukraine. Whenever he fights over here, we would do his fights under the K2 banner. Cecilia Brækhus fights under K2. Triple G naturally has Triple G Promotions, but 360 would be my company where I can take a little bit more risks in signing fighters or doing other smaller shows that really wouldn't make sense financially for the other promotional companies. So I'm excited about the venture. I've been contacted by a lot of fighters and a lot of promoters that want to work with me, and I think this Superfly 2 show, February 24th at the Forum, is just the first step in that. We're working with a lot of different promoters, but the winners are going to be the fans. When you can we're actually going to add one more world title fight to the show, if you can believe that. So not only the fights that were announced or talked about here, but also another world title fight. So it's going to be tremendous value for the fans.
In terms of your promotion, where do you want to fit it in the landscape? Do you want to be on the level of Golden Boy, top rank like that? Do you want to concentrate on bringing up talent? Like, what's your goal and how you want to navigate yourself in the landscape?
I think people see the success that I've had, the historic run that the Klitschko brothers had in the heavyweight division. All the doors that Triple G broke down for the Eastern European fighters. He was the one that really opened the door. Well, Klitschko's were really opened the door here in the U.S., but Triple G made fighting in the U.S. his priority and his focus, and selling out Madison Square Garden, selling out the Forum, breaking the attendance record at the StubHub Center. I mean, what we accomplished with Triple G, I think a lot of fighters take notice of everything that we do to invest in a fighter's career, to market them, to bring them to a different level, not only the promotional side, but also on the sponsorship level, international TV. And we're looking forward to not working with a lot of fighters, but working with niche fighters. Just same thing with Chocolatito. Chocolatito was always a tremendous fighter. We put him on the same shows with Triple G. We got him his own HBO date together with Taken Promotions, and we really brought his career to a different level. And Chocolatito is the one that really opened the doors, just like Triple G did for Eastern European fighters. Chocolatito is the one that opened the door for the lower weight divisions, like the flyweight, super flyweight division. So, just excited about working with with other fighters, building careers and putting on great shows for the fans.
I know you've been asked this the whole entire day. You've probably been here, but how close are we for the rematch? Spoke to Eric. He told me 98%. That was last week. So are we at 99%? Are we at 100% now?
Well, I gave an interview last week. I said 90%. We've been negotiating. Eric and I have been negotiating for the last 3 months. We did a great co-promotion together when Triple G fought Lemieux at Madison Square Garden. Then we did a great co-promotion the last fight when Triple G fought Canelo. We set the record for the third highest boxing gate in history. Did well over 1 million pay-per-view buys. An extremely successful event for both fighters, and the fans loved it. Decision the fans didn't really love, and we didn't really care for on our side, but that's really what spurs the incentive for both guys to fight each other, to have a clear winner the next time around. And but again, it's one of those things. Triple G's in Kazakhstan right now. Canelo was gone last year. He was out of the country for a while, and now Triple G's in Kazakhstan. When he gets back, I'll sit down with them and just kind of go over everything and see if we can bridge the gap with those final few details. But it would be premature to announce the fight being finalized. But hopefully we can get the last few points cleared up, and then Eric and I can announce the fight.
Are they big points, or is it just like small, like things like what's left?
I tell you, Marcos, until all the points are finalized,
what are these points? It's not like something like, oh, I have to come out first, or this guy can only hold this flag in the corner, or
Triple G gave up those points a long time ago. You know, he's a champion. Canelo wanted to come out last. You know, those are minor things. I mean, if it were up to those points, then it wouldn't be a big deal. But look, again, I have a good relationship with Golden Boy. We respect the Canelo side. He brings a lot of value to the table. Triple G brings a lot of value to the table. You see the difference in the gate. We more than doubled the gate that Canelo did with Cotto, and that was a tremendous promotion that Golden Boy did with Canelo and Cotto. So both guys bring a lot of value to the table. I think both guys complement each other. At the same time, both guys need each other to put on a mega fight like this. Canelo needs Triple G, and Triple G needs Canelo. So that's that's really the momentum to try to make this, and without going into details of negotiations.
Get into him, Tom. No, answer this then. There was a report, I want to say a few days ago, that said Canelo's side was done, that he had already signed. Is that correct, or that's not correct?
Well, again, I could have said that 3 months ago. Said gennady agreed to all of his terms, and he's just waiting on Canelo. It's a delicate process. It's a lengthy process. But putting these type of mega fights together, it takes a while. There's a lot of different revenue streams. Not only the pay-per-view, but the closed circuit, the sponsorships, the ticketing, the international. I mean, this is truly an international sporting event. It's not even a boxing event or a world championship boxing event. It's an international sporting event, and so both sides, they feel like they have their own value, and we're just trying to work out everything so that we can actually announce it.
Has a date been worked out and a site?
The date's always been May 5th. If the fight happens, it would be May 5th. That's never been challenged.
So that's staying. That's concrete.
That was the date that Canelo put out there, and Gennady said, okay, if the fight happens, he'll agree to May 5th. I do have a couple other dates on reserve with HBO and other arenas, but again, it's this is the fight that both guys need. So we're hoping that we can get it finalized.
And general consensus is that it seems everybody wants the rematch to take place in Vegas. Are you getting that vibe?
That's the general consensus I'm getting from the Canelo side.
Yeah. Okay. So more than likely, you think?
Not necessarily from the fans. A lot of fans want to see it in Cowboy Stadium. A lot of fans want to see it go to the East Coast. To switch up. Okay, you had the fight in Vegas. Now fans want to see it in Madison Square Garden. Who's very interested in it, but that's premature to talk about venues. We need to finalize the fight first, and then once the fight's finalized, then we can talk about other details. About where the location is going to be, or different types of ways to promote the fight. The good thing is that I have a great working relationship with Golden Boy, so there's no egos involved. You know, we work well together, and like I said, the evidence is the Lemieux co-promotion and the first fight with Triple G and Canelo co-promotion. So there's no issues like sometimes promoters are working against each other or the fighters don't get along. You know, it's we both have a mutual respect. Naturally, we want to do what's best for our side. They want to do what's best for the Canelo side, and you know, we're just working on getting it finalized.
In speaking with Gennady, what do you get from him in terms of his approach to the rematch? Is it something where he doesn't want to risk it going to the judges and he's going to come out even more aggressive than he did in the first fight, or are you getting something different, a different vibe from him?
Well, I don't think anyone expected Canelo to move as much as he did for 12 rounds. I mean, he was really trying to avoid you know, confrontation there for the majority of the fight. I think it surprised Gennady, it surprised Abel. You know, when you talk about the Mexican style, Canelo said he's a true Mexican, but he didn't really fight like a Mexican the first fight. But then again, you know, I'm sure he'll make adjustments. Canelo will, and Triple G will make adjustments. But that's what's interesting about these rematches, is that who makes the adjustments. Abel will make adjustments on the training side. I'm sure Chepo and Eddie Reynoso, they'll make adjustments on their side. But again, all that speculation until we can actually announce the fight, then, you know, then we can talk about strategy. Then you can ask Abel, like, well, how he's going to train differently or how he's going to strategize in the corner, and that's what we're just finalizing the fight, and then if it gets done, then we can go into, you know, expand upon all the other points.
I was gonna get into something, but it's pretty much Marcos. Like, yeah, no, not trying to trick you.
Ask it enough times, figured I would give you a different answer.
Jedi mind trick. No, hey, Roman was on the first Superfly, and I know we mentioned Superfly earlier, but what's going on with him? Is he going to come back, or have you heard anything on his part about his return, or if he's going to be on HBO with your promotion and a co-promotion at all?
We have a great relationship with Taken Promotions and Mr. Honda, his promoter, and his manager, Carlos Blandon. In fact, I just had a conversation with Mr. Honda per email earlier today, and says that he definitely wants to come back. Doesn't know the exact date or show, but Chocolatito is always welcome on our shows. He's a legend. He, like I said, he opened the doors for all these fighters on these Superfly shows, and Chocolatito is a fan favorite. He's one of the most exciting fighters in the sport of boxing, and really has become a legend what he's accomplished in his career.
All right, Tom. Great chatting with you. Great sharing your time with us here with Tom Loeffler.
Before you ask 3 more.
Well, you said the fight's gonna be announced next week, right?
Not yet.
So you're trying to slip one in there, but Tom Loeffler, of course, a good guy here, the new head of 360 Promotions, K2 Promotions, Golovkin Promotions. You're all over the place, Tom. You're a renaissance man in boxing. But this show coming up, Superfly 2, Gallo Estrada taking on Sor Rungvisai at the Forum in Inglewood.